But as we go through that process, we sometimes attach ourselves to things that then we think we are. Today's episode is going to offer you an identity shift, a shift from however you view yourself now, knowing that you can shift into somebody that is a high vibrational version of you, and that naturally you are high vibrational in nature. Having a high vibration, as esoteric as it may sound, means that you are in alignment with who you really are, and it is a natural part of yourself. I believe that your natural state of being is to feel high a majority of the time. However, I think what happens is when we're born, we forget who we are so that we can go through a process of remembering who we are. But as we go through that process, we sometimes attach ourselves to things that then we think we are. Maybe when we're younger, we feel anger or shame or some type of emotion, and we think that we have to always feel that way. And we then carry it with us. And the key to us raising our vibration is not taking on some new identity, not taking on the belief that I am high vibrational. The idea and the key is to let go of that which is not us, because then our vibration will naturally begin to raise. And this identity shift that I believe you'll get in this episode can change your life, can change how you view yourself. It can change the way you relate to other people. And the intention is that as you listen to this episode, there are little golden nuggets or little seeds that are planted that make it easier for you to shift your identity, to shift how you view yourself, and to shift how you're showing up in the world, knowing that it is your natural birthright to be high vibrational. And there's certain guiding principles that you can begin to live by that will change everything. So that's the intention of this episode. That's my intention for you listening to it. And it's going to be 7 habits of high vibrational people, and then also 7 ways you can raise your vibration permanently. And let me tell you, it can be permanent. It really can be. It's our belief that things can't be so easy. It's our belief that things need to be a lot harder than they are that keeps us from allowing it to be easy. In 2012, when I was going through my spiritual awakening, I remember sitting down one day, getting ready to meditate on the 2nd or 3rd day of me trying, with somewhat like failure for 1 or 2 days, because I just kept being in my head. I would try to control my thoughts. I would be afraid that if I thought a negative thought, that I would then manifest something bad like instantaneously. And that created a lot of resistance inside of me. But then what happened is I learned how to observe my thoughts. And when that happened, I then sat down like the 3rd day to meditate, and I just decided that this is going to change my life forever. And from that moment going forward, it did. And the same thing happened when I went full-time on YouTube. I had that kind of idea. You could say it was from my higher self, or it was a download, or whatever it was. But when I was working that 9-to-5 job selling women's shoes, I just decided that I'm going to make videos every single day on YouTube. And I just knew and decided that that one thing every day was going to change my life. And guess what? It did. So there's times I think, I got another thing that happened is I had an energy work session with somebody that a friend of mine raved about, talked about. He worked for this person for a year, saw kind of like miracles happen from being around this guy. So when I went to work with him, I had a private session with him. I just decided that this is going to change my life forever. And was it the placebo, or was it actually the energy work? I don't know. To this day, could have been a mixture of both. Maybe everything in our life is just a permission slip. And we believe in it, so therefore it's even more powerful. And that's kind of the basis of this episode, is that you can make a new choice about who you are, right? Meow. And that will be you moving forward. Now, one of the things that changed my life more than anything else, and the first habit of high vibrational people that almost everybody that I've seen give interviews or or talk or be like what we would consider to be a high vibrational person. So not just somebody that's successful, that loves what they do, but like somebody that's doing it in a way where you could tell they're in alignment, and maybe they have a certain level of like spiritual work they're committed to. Is the number one habit that I notice in everybody is that is in this demographic is that they have some form of meditation, some form of observing the thoughts, some form of allowing the thoughts to be there. And maybe that's a guided meditation. Maybe that's doing breath work. Maybe that's transcendental meditation. Maybe that's candlelight, just looking at a candle flame meditation. But every single person that I've seen that is like the person that we would want to be more like, that is also successful, they meditate. I remember there's a book by Tim Ferriss that's called like Tools of Titans. It's thousands of or hundreds of interviews of people that are millionaires and billionaires, very successful. And even out of them, not that we consider everyone that's like rich to be high vibrational, because sometimes people can have a lot of money but not be very happy and in alignment. But one of the most common things that you could see in that book was that people had a meditation practice, observing the thoughts, realizing that we may think thoughts, but we are not our thoughts. And back in 2012, I had ADHD. I had trouble focusing. I was taking Adderall, which the side effects are you couldn't eat very much, you couldn't sleep very much. So they were harsh, but I would take Adderall to help me get by in my days of selling women's shoes at Nordstrom's. That's how I got by. But then I came across the research on meditation, and I started to meditate, and it changed my life. And let me tell you, I'm somebody that you would not think could sit still for 2 minutes. The reason I'm telling you this is because you may tell yourself, I can't meditate, or I'm not great at meditation, or whatever. And just know that that's being rigid to an old identity. That's being rigid to an old story. It's like, well, it used to be hard for me to focus, therefore I still can't focus. But remember, your identity is flexible. You can make a new choice about yourself right now and decide that it is easy for you to meditate. You can at least be open to it and see how that begins to change your life. So meditation is the ability to observe your thoughts. And if you look on the scale of consciousness from 0 to 1,000, 50 is shame, moves up to anger, and then it goes shame, guilt, anger, pride, courage, neutrality, and then you've got acceptance, you've got above that, meaning, love, joy, peace, enlightenment. Like that's the scale. At 400 is reasoning of the mind. That's the intellect. That's understanding that your beliefs create your reality. 250 is neutrality. 250 of neutrality is above shame, guilt, anger. And one of the reasons I believe that is because when you learn how to observe your thoughts, you tap into neutrality. And in neutrality, that's where you disengage the momentum of the mind. And high vibrational people have a neutrality practice, which could be called meditation. And when I began meditating back in 2012, it changed my whole entire life. If there's one thing that I believe will change your life more than anything else, it's meditation, but not meditation once. Meditating for days in a row. Make it a part of your daily routine. If you make meditation a part of your daily routine, your life will change in ways you can't even imagine now. Because as you disengage the monkey mind and you learn to observe, you are letting go of resistance. And as you let go of resistance, what happens is you then allow yourself to let go of negative energy. More room is made for more positive things to come into your life. So when I learned how to observe my thoughts, I also had an identity shift. I went from somebody that it was hard for me to focus, somebody that was all over the place. I was going around at Nordstrom's, I always messing around and just had so much energy. And all of a sudden, I'm able to, I have a meditation practice, and I just became more alert, more present to the moment. It changed everything. It changed the way I saw myself. I went from seeing myself as having ADHD to seeing myself as more a Zen-like person, a more mindful person. Whatever you do every single day compounds over time. I would meditate for 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night, And I would also use a practice of self-inquiry, where what I would do is observe my thoughts and observe what I identified with. I began to question my own thoughts, question my own identity. I began to question, this whole ADHD thing. I questioned even my past and realized how unworthy I felt from my past. And what happened is over time, from disengaging and questioning having ADHD, the pain of my past, and I eventually forgave my ex-stepmom, my whole entire outer reality began to change. So realize that the limitations that you set on yourself were limitations you agreed to because of past trauma, past experience, and the stories you have are flexible. I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy. I'm afraid people will leave me. Those are normally thoughts and beliefs and stories that have been on autopilot since childhood. And as you begin to observe them, your whole entire life will change. And remember, even I had ADHD, couldn't focus, and I was able to meditate and learn this. If I can do it, you can do it too. I wish I had a video of me from back in the day for you to see how different my energy is. So you know, if he could do it, then I can do it, I wasn't always meditating every day. So that's the first habit that I noticed in a lot of successful people. Having some form of meditation practice. It could be walking barefoot on grass, walking your dog, meditating for 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. But it changes everything. I hope you guys enjoyed that little segment from my podcast called the Aaron Doughty Podcast. If you want to listen to the rest of that episode, click the link below. You'll see it on iTunes and Spotify. You can download episodes. It's so easy to listen to. You can do it while you're working out, while you're driving. It's so convenient. And that's where new episodes go live every Tuesday and Thursday. Every single week, I have guests coming on the podcast. I have solo episodes, and we go really deep. This is really a place where I get very personable, and I share more about things I'm thinking of. I share my top book insights, and you can check it out and subscribe below, and you will see it there. So iTunes, Spotify, listen to the rest of the episode below as well, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace, much love, and namaste.